Hello everyone, and welcome back to Alaska Rural Homestead. Today's episode is going to be all about chainsaw safety for beginners or women. You guys, I love being out in the woods. If I could just play all day in the woods, and explore, it would just be awesome because it's so peaceful out here. But there's chores to be done. I find that having a saw is an invaluable tool for the homestead, whether it be for an emergency or like for us, we cut the majority of our wood to heat our home, and that saves us a ton of money. Or if you're clearing brush around your property for a fire break, is really important to have a good working chainsaw on the homestead. That squirrel is not gonna quit. So now I've got these gloves here that I really like because they have this rubber grip on the inside, on the palm area, and I find that's easier for me. That squirrel. Okay, do you want to get blasted? So when you are first looking at buying a chainsaw, you need to make sure that, for one, you're going to be able to handle it properly. And you're going to be able to handle it properly, and it's not going to be overly heavy for you, because you need to be able to control this saw. And then you might want to look for features like anti-kickback bar. Now my saw is an easy pull start. I'm not endorsing this saw or anything like that, but I just love my saw. And it's awesome that I can get out and help cut some wood. And women don't need to be intimidated by this. As long as you're doing it safe and you have your safety gear on, there's no reason women cannot do this. A lot of women are, operating homesteads now by themselves, and you need to be able to know how to use a chainsaw in case of an emergency or whatnot. So I am going to go ahead and start sharpening my saw here. You definitely want to make sure you're wearing gloves when you sharpen your saw. Now, there are different size sharpeners. Now, you'll have to figure out which one is the right fit for yours. But this one is the size that I need for sharpening my saw. Now, you will see these grooves in this tool here, and that is the angle that you need to be at to sharpen your blade. Okay, so when you are sharpening, you've got to have that disengaged. When you are sharpening, you want to make sure that you go in one direction. Okay, so I just got my chainsaw sharpened and tightened. You definitely want to make sure you have a nice sharp blade. Now, these are two types of different oils. This is a winter blend that we usually use when it gets down to the negative, and occasionally we do have to go out and cut wood, and today I'd like to kind of try to get a head start on that. This is our summer blend, and I'm going to be putting that in right now because it's not quite cold enough for the winter blend. Okay, now also I've got my fuel here, and this is a fuel additive that you put in. I think it's like a 50-to-1 or something like that you put in here. And I usually take this top piece off, the nozzle piece, because I always have issues with it. It never gives Mark an issue, but it always gives me an issue. I don't know why. So, alright, so we've got the oil in, we've got the fuel in, we talked about the additive. Now, something else you're going to need is some good safety glasses, because you don't want any flying wood chips coming up in your eye or anything like that. Honestly, today, I'm not going to be using earplugs because I just don't feel comfortable with wearing these, especially out here by myself. These woods can be really quiet, and you would only have a few seconds to react if something came up on you because there's so much moss on the ground. And right now the bears are getting out and foraging before they den up for the winter. And every year in Alaska there's always, you always hear about bear attacks, and there has been some already. So I just feel comfortable with not wearing those right now. And another thing, today I am not going to be wearing a hard hat, but if you're going to be falling any trees, you need to make sure you're wearing a hard hat, and definitely pay attention when you are cutting wood. Look above you. So the other thing that we're going to need is we're going to need a pair of chaps. These chaps will help prevent the saw from cutting into your leg. They will bind up the saw blade and protect your legs. And if you use your saw enough like I do, and you're not using any safety equipment or doing any safety precautions, eventually you're going to get hurt. And why not do it safe? So we're also going to need a wedge just in case we get our saw blade stuck. And also I've got an axe here. So I'm going to get these on. So what I really love about my saw is, like I said, it's an easy pull start. It's super easy to start. Because my husband told me that I could not get a chainsaw, and I really wanted my own chainsaw. He said that if I could start his saw and operate it safely, then I could have a chainsaw. Well, his is obviously not an easy pull start, so I couldn't get it started. So when I found this, I fell in love. So right here, it's got a priming button. It's got to prime the carburetor. And like I said, you want this anti-kickback bar, because if it starts to kick back, you can hit it like that and engage this brake, So I wanted to show you guys why we're out here, which is, it's really kind of interesting. These right here, if you can see this, and here is another one also. This is a fungus. This is a fungus underneath the bark here, and it causes what they call a burl. And this burl will get really big sometimes. There is a place called the Bowl Company in Fairbanks, Alaska, and they will take these burls and they will make some bowls. So I will try to show you a bigger burl, and I've also got some bowls at home that are really cool, and it's kind of nice to support Alaska businesses. But I thought that was kind of interesting. You guys would like to see, you know. Hubby and I will come out here later on this evening, and we're going to try to get some more wood, because I think we've only got like a cord and a half right now. So off to the next chore I go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, please. Bye.